Hello and welcome to Math Matters. I'm Miss Whitehead Tambani, and today we are going to learn ways to be a problem solver and communicating our ideas about how to solve combination problems to 10. Before we get started, let's get our math brains warmed up by looking at these pictures. What is the same in these two pictures? They are the same because they both have 7 shapes. What is different between these two pictures? They are different because the first picture has squares and the second picture has blue dots. Our learning outcome for today is to model and solve story problems. You can work on your communicator skills by listening so you can understand. Think about how communicators write or model to share ideas when I have you work on the math problem later. Today I'm going to have you solve a story problem. Before we get started, I want you to get some paper, crayons, and 2 different kinds of counters, like 10 pennies and 10 nickels. I'll count to 25 while you get your materials. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 1, 2, 3, come back to me. Just put your materials next to you while you listen to me read the story problem. What do you notice? Maybe you notice the fish pond. Maybe you notice the rock bench you can sit on. Maybe you notice the fish. Picture in your mind what is happening while I read the story problem to you. Ahmed has some fish in his fish pond. What do we know so far? Ahmed has some fish in his fish pond. Continue to picture the story in your mind. Ahmed has some fish in his fish pond. Some of the fish were orange and some of the fish were blue. What new information did we find out? Some of the fish were orange and some of the fish were blue. Continue to picture the story in your mind. Ahmed had 10 fish in his fish pond. Some of the fish were orange and some of the fish were blue. What new information did we find out? Ahmed had 10 fish. Continue to picture the story in your mind. Ahmed had 10 fish in his fish pond. Some of the fish were orange and some of the fish were blue. How many orange fish and how many blue fish could be in the fish pond? What new information did we find out? We have a question. We get to figure out how many orange fish and how many blue fish are in the fish pond. I wonder how we can figure this out. Do you think we have enough information? We have the whole amount being 10 fish, but we don't have either of the parts. Let's see what we can do. I included the number sentence on the bottom so we can see the answer. How many orange and blue fish could be in the fish pond? The first part will be the orange fish. The second part will be the blue fish. And the purple hole will be how many fish are in the fish pond all together. Amit had 10 fish in his fish pond. Is the 10 fish a part or the whole? It's the whole, so let's add it to the number sentence. Okay, let's read the next sentence. Some of the fish were orange and some of the fish were blue. I circled the parts with the color for the fish. This is different. There isn't an amount of fish. Both the orange and blue says some. Well, let's just put the word some in the number sentence. Our number sentence says some and some makes 10. This is confusing. Oh, look, there is another question. How many combinations can we make? I understand now. There isn't just one answer. When we have both parts missing, we can have different combinations to make the whole, 10. One way we can do this is to use a 10 frame. Let's start by putting one orange fish. One and some makes 10. We have one orange fish, so if we have 10 altogether, how many blue fish will we need to make 10? How do you know? Let's put the 9 fish in now. 1 and 9 makes 10. Now if we put 2 orange fish, how many blue fish will we need to have in order to make 10? How do you know? Right, 8 blue fish. 2 orange fish and 8 blue fish makes 10 in the fish pond. Now if we put 3 orange fish, how many blue fish will we need to have in order to make 10? How do you know? Right, 7 blue fish, 3 orange fish, and 7 blue fish makes 10 fish in the fish pond. Now if we put 4 orange fish, how many blue fish will we need to have in order to make 10? How do you know? Right, 6 blue fish, 4 orange fish, and 6 blue fish makes 10 fish in the fish pond. What do you notice? There is a pattern. We keep adding 1 orange fish and taking away 1 blue fish. Remember, we are trying to find all the combinations of 10 fish using orange and blue. Looking at the pattern, what do you think will come next? Right, the next number sentence would be 5 orange fish and 5 blue fish makes 10 fish in the fish pond. I used colored circles instead of fish because it's easier to draw those when I have you solve the problem. Believe it or not, there are more combinations that we can come up with for this story problem. Picture the story in your mind while I read the problem to you again. Amit has 10 fish in his fish pond. Some of the fish were orange and some of the fish were blue. How many orange fish and how many blue fish could be in the fish pond? Now I want you to use your paper and crayons or counters and make one combination of how many orange and blue fish could be in the fish pond. I'll wait for you to do this. Show me what you did. I love the different combinations you came up with. Now I want you to try a different combination for the story problem. I'll wait for you to do this. Show me your different combination. I am so proud of all of you for working so hard on coming up with different combinations for our story problem. Sometimes there is more than one answer when we solve problems. Let's reflect on our learning. Take a moment to think about yourself as a mathematician and communicator. Did you learn something new about modeling and solving story problems? Were you able to listen so you could understand? Did you write or make models to share your ideas? Mathematicians can communicate their ideas in many ways. In today's episode of Math Matters, we learned ways to be a problem solver and communicating our ideas about solving combination problems. Try to make and solve combination word problems with your family today. Make sure to communicate how you solve the problems. I'm Miss Whitehead Tembani. I hope you have a great day and keep on counting.